Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it is where you are right now, welcome. Welcome to Knowledge Walla. I am Ethan, and I am so happy you pressed play today.
And I am Elara. Honestly, every time we start recording, I get a little bit excited because today's topic, it is one of my absolute favorites. And I know, we say that every week.
We do say that every week, but this time I really mean it. Today we are talking about one single word, just one tiny four-letter word. And that word is bean.
B-E-E-N, bean. And I can already hear some of our listeners going, oh no, not grammar. But wait. This is not going to be a grammar lecture. No textbooks today. No boring rules written on a blackboard.
Exactly. Today we are going to learn through stories, through real conversations, through situations that you actually face in your daily life, because that is the only way English truly sticks.
You know what, Ethan? I want to start with a story, a real story, something that happened to me when I first started learning English seriously.
Oh, please, yes, tell us. I love when you share stories.
So, I was maybe 16 years old. My English teacher asked the class a simple question. She said, "Has anyone here been to Delhi?" And I raised my hand. But then she said, "Elara, can you make a full sentence?" And I said, "Yes, I've been to Delhi last year." And the whole class laughed.
Oh no, that is such a relatable moment. So many students have been through exactly that feeling.
And here's the thing, I was not far off. I just forgot one small word. I should have said, I have been to Delhi. That tiny word have makes all the difference. And from that day, I never forgot it again. Embarrassment is a great teacher.
Ha, it really is. And that is exactly what today's episode is about. We are going to help you understand bean so well that you will never feel confused about it again. Not in class, not in interviews, not when you're chatting with someone online. Never again.
So stay with us for the full 30 minutes. Get a cup of tea or coffee, sit somewhere comfortable, and let's do this together.
All right, before we go into stories and examples, let's spend just 2 or 3 minutes on the very basics, just so everyone is on the same page. Elara, if a student asks you, what is bean? What do you say?
I say, think of the word be, the verb to be. You already know this verb, right? I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, they are. That is the verb to be in the present. And in the past, it becomes was and were.
Right, I was hungry. She was at school. They were late. We all know that.
Now, been is the third form of be. Some people call it the past participle, but forget that word if it scares you. Just think of it like this. When you have a story that connects the past and the present, you use been. And always, it travels with a helper verb.
The helper verb, this is so important. Bean never walks alone. It's like, imagine Bean is a person who always needs a friend to go anywhere. The friends are have, has, and had. You'll never see Bean at the beginning of a sentence without one of those three words right next to it.
That's such a good image, Ethan. I love that. Bean needs a friend, and the friends are have, has, and had.
Let me give a super simple example. If I want to say I visited Mumbai at some point in my life and that experience feels relevant now, I say I have been to Mumbai. Have is the friend. Been is the main character.
And if it's someone else, like she or he or Rohan or Priya, you change have to has. So she has been to Mumbai. He has been to that school. Simple swap.
Now, one mistake I hear all the time, and Elara, you experienced this yourself, people say, I been to Mumbai. They drop the helper word, and that one little drop makes the sentence incorrect. It's like sending Bean out into the world without its friend.
Never leave bean without its helper. Write that somewhere. Stick it on your mirror. Put it as your phone wallpaper. I have been, she has been, they have been, he had been. Always together.
Beautiful. Now let's get into the real fun. let's talk about how being actually shows up in everyday life. And we're going to do this through stories, real characters, real situations.
Okay, so I want to introduce our first character. His name is Arjun. Arjun is a 22-year-old student from a small town in Rajasthan. He's preparing for a job interview at a big company in Jaipur. And in the interview, the manager asks him, "Tell me about yourself. Have you ever been abroad?"
Classic interview question, and this is where being shows up so naturally, right? Have you ever been abroad? Have you been to an international conference? Have you been in a leadership role?
Exactly. So Arjun says, "Yes, I've been to Dubai once. My uncle lives there and I visited him 2 years ago." And the manager says, "Oh, interesting. Have you been anywhere else?" And Arjun says, "No, that's the only time I've been outside India."
Did everyone notice? Arjun used being 3 times in that short exchange. I have been to Dubai. Have you been anywhere else? The only time I have been outside India. This is the most natural use of being, talking about experiences, places you have visited, things you have done at some point in your life.
And the beautiful thing about this use is the exact time doesn't matter. Arjun didn't say when he went to Dubai in those sentences. He just said, "I have been there." The experience itself is what matters. That's the whole feeling of have been. It connects your past experience to who you are right now.
Think about it in your own life. Have you ever been to the Taj Mahal? Have you ever been to a Bollywood concert? Have you been on a train journey alone? These are all questions about your experiences, your life story.
And here's a fun thing. The negative form is equally common and natural. Arjun says to his friend, "I have never been on an airplane before that Dubai trip. I have never been to a five-star hotel. I have never been inside a big corporate office." He's describing things he hadn't experienced before.
I love that. I have never been is one of the most useful phrases you can ever learn. It sounds so natural. Try it right now, wherever you are. Think of one place you have never been. Say it out loud.
I have never been to Ladakh. That's mine. I really want to go someday.
And I have never been to the northeast of India. So much of our own country to explore. See, being helps us talk about our lives, our stories, our dreams. It's not just grammar, it's personal.
Now, back to Arjun. He gets the job. On his first day, a colleague asks him, "Have you been to the main conference room on the fifth floor?" And Arjun says, "No, I have not been there yet. Can you show me?" Simple, natural, everyday conversation.
And notice, I have not been there yet. The word yet is a beautiful companion for this type of sentence. I haven't been to Ladakh yet. She hasn't been to the dentist yet. They haven't been to the new office yet.
Oh, I use not yet with been almost every single day. It's one of those combinations that makes you sound very fluent and confident in English.
All right, let's meet our second character. Her name is Priya. Priya is a school teacher in Chennai. She loves her job, but last month she caught a bad fever and was sick for almost 2 weeks.
Poor Priya. I actually had something similar happen to me last winter. Anyway, so what happened when Priya came back to school?
Her colleague sees her and says, "Oh, Priya, where have you been? We missed you so much." And Priya says, "I have been so unwell. I have been in bed for almost 2 weeks. The doctor said I should rest completely."
And that right there is the second beautiful way we use been, not just for experiences you've had, but for describing a state or a situation that you were in for a period of time. Priya was unwell. That was her state. And she uses I have been unwell to describe it.
The feeling is, this situation started in the past, and it was true for a while, and it still connects to right now. Priya is back at school, but her illness is still fresh, still part of her story today. That is why she says, I have been unwell, rather than just I was unwell.
The colleague then asks, "And how are you feeling now? Are you better?" And Priya says, "I have been feeling much better since Monday, thank goodness. The medicine finally worked."
I have been feeling much better since Monday. Did you catch those 2 words? Since Monday? The word since is one of the biggest clues that we need have been. Since tells us when the situation started, and have been carries it all the way to the present moment.
Think about your own life again. Have you been busy lately? Have you been feeling tired this week? Have you been studying English for a long time? These questions are asking about your state, your situation over a period of time.
Another lovely thing to notice is the word for. Just like since, the word for is a best friend of have been. She has been teaching for 12 years. He has been in this company for 5 years. I have been learning guitar for 6 months. For tells us the duration, how long the situation has lasted.
So remember, when you want to describe how long something has been true, use have been or has been plus for or since, and suddenly your English sounds wonderfully natural.
Now, Priya's story continues. One evening, she calls her mother and says, "Ma, I have been working so hard this week. I've been marking papers every night. I've been going to bed after midnight. I am exhausted."
And her mother says, Beta, you have been pushing yourself too much. You need to rest. Have you been eating properly? And Priya says, No, Ma. Honestly, I have been skipping lunch most days.
Isn't this such a normal, real conversation? And it is full of been. Priya has been working hard. She has been marking papers. She has been going to bed late. She has been skipping lunch. Every single one of those is describing an ongoing situation or action.
And this brings us to something really important that I want to explain. When been is followed by an action word, a verb with ing, it shows us an ongoing activity, something that was happening continuously over a period of time. This is what grammar books call the present perfect continuous. But don't worry about the name. Just listen to how natural it sounds.
I have been working. She has been cooking. They have been waiting. He has been studying. The ing ending gives the sentence energy. It shows movement. It shows the action was alive and happening over time.
And it also explains why something looks the way it does right now. Priya looks tired because she has been working late every night. Your friend is sweaty because he has been playing cricket. The kitchen smells amazing because Mom has been cooking biryani all afternoon.
Oh, that biryani example is so good. Yes. The result you see right now is explained by what has been happening. That is the magic of have been plus ing. It tells the story behind the story.
Okay, Ethan, I want to talk about something that confuses nearly every single English learner I have ever met. And that is the difference between been and gone. Because they sound similar, they both involve traveling, but they mean completely different things.
This one, I have so many students who mix this up. Let's do this with a story. Meet Kavya. Kavya lives with her parents in Pune. One afternoon, her father comes home and asks, "Where is Kavya? Is she home?" And her mother says, "No, she has gone to college."
She has gone to college. What does that tell us? It tells us Kavya left the house. She went to college, and right now, at this moment, she is still there. She has not come back. She is away.
Now imagine the same evening. Father comes home again. This time, Kavya is sitting on the sofa watching television. Father says, "Oh, you are home. Did you go to college today?" And Kavya says, "Yes, Papa, I have been to college. I came back an hour ago."
She has been to college. Same place, but completely different meaning. Now she went there and came back. The journey is complete. She is home. She is here.
So the simple test is this. Is the person here with you right now? If yes, use been. If no, use gone. Kavya is sitting next to you. She has been to college. She went and came back. Kavya is not home. She has gone to college. She is still there.
I have a personal story about this actually. When I was a teenager, a friend called my home and asked for me. My younger brother picked up the phone, and he said, "She has been to the market. She'll be back soon." And my friend was very confused. She thought I had just returned.
What was the correct thing to say?
He should have said, "She has gone to the market," because at that moment, I was still at the market. I had not come back yet. So gone was the right word, but sweet little brother used been, which made it sound like I was already home.
That is such a perfect example. And this kind of mix-up actually happens in real life all the time. So let's really drill this in. Gone means the person is still away. Been means the person went there and has returned.
Let's try a few more with Kavya's family. Kavya's mom calls her husband and says, "I cannot find my phone anywhere. Have you seen Kavya?" And he says, "She has gone to the gym. She'll be back by 7. So where is Kavya right now?
She's at the gym, still there. That's why gone is correct. Now, later that night, same husband says to his wife, "By the way, Kavya has been to the new coffee shop on MG Road. She really liked it. She was talking about it at dinner." So now where is Kavya?
She is home. She went to the coffee shop at some point in the past and came back. She has the experience. That is been.
Perfect. And one more thing. Been is used when you're asking about someone's life experiences. Have you been to Goa? Have you ever been on a cruise? Have you been to a live music concert? You're asking about something they experienced and returned from.
You would never say, "Have you gone to Goa?" as a question about life experience. That just doesn't sound right. The correct natural question is, "Have you ever been to Goa?" Remember that. It will sound so much better in your conversations.
Let's go a little deeper now. We've talked about have been and has been, which connect the past to the present. But what about when we're already telling a story that is all in the past and we need to go even further back? That is when we use had been.
Let me explain this with a story that I think everyone will relate to. Meet Rahul. Rahul is now a successful software engineer, but 5 years ago, he was struggling. He was trying to get his first job. He had been rejected by 6 companies. He had been preparing for interviews for almost a year. He was tired and losing confidence.
He had been rejected by 6 companies. He had been preparing for a year. Notice, Rahul's story is set in the past, 5 years ago. But even within that past story, we want to say what was already happening before those moments. That is had been. It is the past before the past.
Think of it like layers. Imagine yesterday is the past, and had been is the day before yesterday. Something was already true or already happening, and then something else happened on top of it.
So Rahul's story continues. One morning, he gets a call for an interview at a dream company. He goes, he performs brilliantly, and then something wonderful happens. He gets the job. His mother hugged him and said, "I knew you would do it. You had been working so hard for this." She had been working so hard for this. She's talking about that long period of effort that came before the success. The hard work had already been happening, and then the reward arrived. You can feel the timeline, can't you?
Absolutely. And Rahul later wrote about his experience in a blog. He wrote, "Before I got my first job, I had been living on a very tight budget. I had been eating simple meals every day. I had been wearing the same formal shirt to every interview, but I never gave up."
Can you feel how powerful those sentences are? They paint a picture of what life was like before the good news arrived. Had been living, had been eating, had been wearing. All of these were already happening. They were the background of his life at that time.
And had been also works with states, not just actions. Like, before she became a teacher, she had been a journalist for many years. Or, by the time I arrived at the party, it had been going on for 3 hours already. The party started, it was happening, and then I arrived.
Words that often appear with had been, by the time, before, after, when, already. Listen for these words in stories. When you hear them, had been is very likely nearby.
By the time I woke up, she had already been gone for an hour. When I called him, he had been waiting for 45 minutes. Before the rain started, we had been sitting outside in the garden. These all feel so natural and tell such clear stories.
Now, let's talk about a use of been that you will see constantly in news, in offices, in formal conversations, and that is when something is done to someone or something. We call this the passive voice in grammar, but let's just understand it through a story.
Meet Sneha. Sneha works in an office in Bangalore. One morning, she walks in and sees everyone gathered around whispering. She asks her colleague, "What happened?" And he says, "The meeting has been canceled. The manager has been transferred to the Delhi branch, and 2 people have been promoted."
The meeting has been canceled. The manager has been transferred. 2 people have been promoted. In all 3 sentences, something happened to someone or something. We don't say who did it, we focus on the result. And been is the key word that creates the structure.
This is incredibly common in daily English. The letter has been sent. The package has been delivered. Your application has been received. Your complaint has been registered. Every time you deal with banks, offices, hospitals, delivery apps, you hear this kind of language.
And it sounds very polished, very professional. Instead of saying, someone canceled the meeting, you say, the meeting has been canceled. The focus shifts to the thing that happened, not who did it. And that is often exactly what you want to say.
Sneha's colleague then reads out a notice on the board. It says, "Please note that the annual appraisals have been completed. Salary revisions have been approved. The new HR policy has been updated on the company portal." Sneha nods and thinks, well, that is a lot of information for a Monday morning.
Ha! But notice how all of those announcements use the same structure. Something has been done. And they all sound formal, official, and clear. If you ever have to write a formal message, send an email, or give an announcement, this structure is your best friend.
And in the past, the same idea works with had been. By the time Sneha joined the company 5 years ago, the old rules had been changed. The office had been redesigned. The whole team had been restructured. Everything was already different when she arrived, and had been shows us that.
Okay, we are in the final stretch now. Before we close, I want to talk about the most common mistakes that students make with been. Not to embarrass anyone, but because knowing the mistake helps you fix it faster.
And we have all made these mistakes. I certainly have. So, mistake number 1, saying, I been there before. She been working all day. They never been to a museum. These all need their helpers. I have been. She has been. They have never been.
Think of it this way. Would you send your friend out at night with no phone and no money? No, so don't send been out into a sentence without have or has or had. Always together.
Mistake number 2, mixing up been and being. Listen to this. A student says, I have being here for an hour. That is wrong. Being is a different word used in different situations. The correct sentence is, I have been here for an hour. If you find yourself writing have being or has being, stop. Change it to have been or has been.
Mistake number 3, and we already talked about this. Using been when you should say gone. Where is Papa? He has been to the market. If Papa is still out there shopping, it should be he has gone to the market. Save been for when the person is already back.
And mistake number 4, wrong helper verb. He have been tired. That sounds wrong because he needs has. He has been tired. For I, you, we, they, use have. For he, she, it, use has. Just that one tiny swap.
Now, let's do a little practice together. Elara is going to give a situation, and our listeners should pause, think, and try to make the sentence. Then Elara will give the answer.
All right, situation 1. Your friend asks you about Delhi. You visited Delhi last year and came back. How do you answer? Go ahead, pause, and think.
The answer is, yes, I have been to Delhi, or yes, I have been there. Simple and natural.
Situation 2. You want to say that you were very busy from Monday until now, and it's still going on. How do you say it?
I have been very busy since Monday, or I have been extremely busy this whole week. Both are beautiful.
Situation 3. You're telling a story about last year. You want to say that before you got your promotion, you were working in a small department for 2 years. How do you say it?
Before I got my promotion, I had been working in a small department for 2 years. Had been working because it was already happening before the promotion arrived.
Situation 4. You receive a WhatsApp from your delivery app. It says the item is now with you. How do they write it formally?
Your order has been delivered. Has been delivered. Something was done to your order. Passive, formal, clear. Beautiful.
And that, my wonderful friends, is the word been. We went through experiences like Arjun telling his interviewer about his life.
We went through states over time, like Priya telling her mom how tired she has been. We cleared up the confusion between been and gone with Kavya's family.
We went deep into the past with Rahul and his journey to his first job. We heard Sneha's office announcements, and we practiced together. That's a lot of been in 30 minutes. You should feel really proud of yourself for staying with us.
Language learning takes time. It takes patience. It takes the willingness to make mistakes and laugh about them, just like I laughed about my "I been to Delhi" story when I was 6. That mistake taught me more than any textbook ever could have.
So, from today, start noticing been everywhere around you in songs, in movies, in conversations, on your phone, in emails. Once you start seeing it, you'll realize, oh, it has been there all along. I just didn't notice.
Ha, nice one, Ethan. It has been there all along. See what we did there?
Always sneaking in a grammar lesson at the end. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with one friend who is learning English. One share can change someone's learning journey completely.
And if you want to practice more, write a comment or send us a message telling us about your own experiences using been. Use it in a sentence. We read every single one.
This is Elara signing off with so much warmth and a big smile.
And I'm Ethan reminding you your English journey is valid, your progress is real, and your voice absolutely deserves to be heard. Until next time, this is Knowledge Walla. Keep learning, keep speaking, keep growing. Goodbye.